Hi guys. Welcome to Film Summary. Today we're going to talk about the American psychological thriller called Hard Candy. The movie starts with a chat on the internet between a thong girl 14 and Lensman 319. They'd been chatting for 3 weeks now and it's time to meet each other in person. He's a photographer and she's an innocent teenage girl. She wants him to take pictures of her and he doesn't mind it despite the age difference. He says he's been fantasizing about her. They agree to meet at a local coffee shop. As he arrives at the place, she's enjoying her fudge cake at the counter. She tells him that he doesn't look like the kind of guy who meets girls over the internet. He says that he prefers getting to know girls and their insides first. He orders her more chocolate to sweeten her up. They take a free table and he starts chatting her up. He says that she sounds pretty mature for her age. As they talk, we could see the poster of a missing girl hanging on the bulletin board. On the way out, she sees a t-shirt she likes and Jeff, the cameraman, buys it for her. But with one condition: Haley, that's the girl's name, has to pose for him in that t-shirt. They go to the changing room to try it out. Jeff waits outside. She teases him with a sneak peek which drives him crazy in anticipation. As they walk up to his car, she gives him a hint of how she'd like to be treated and she says she likes when guys worship her. Jeff seems to be liking this game, gets on his knees, and kisses her feet. They get into the car. He drives her to his place. Now at his house, he brings her a glass of water. She hesitates to drink it, tells him it could be dangerous to drink anything you didn't mix yourself. He says that it's pretty smart and asks her to go to the kitchen and watch how he pours it. But she has another drink in mind. She goes to the kitchen, finds vodka and orange juice, and mixes them up while he's gone to put some music on. As he comes back to the kitchen, she asks him about young models hanging on the walls. He says that his house is his studio and those photos are his portfolio. He shows her the room where he shoots all his models. Going back to the kitchen for more screwdrivers, she asks if he had ever slept with those models hanging on the walls. Jeff says that there's been only one girl he's slept with. And when they were both younger. Haley tries to guess which one girl is on the wall. Jeff says that girl is not out here. Haley, being a smart girl, figures out that the girl must be in his bedroom. She runs there and sees lots of framed photos of the same girl. She asks her name, and without permission, takes one picture off. She turns it over and sees the name and the date, Janelle March 19th. Haley asks him who this girl is. Jeff says it's his first big girlfriend. He learned everything photo shooting her, he says. Haley notices how much she means to him. She could hear it in his voice. Seeing that Jeff became all moody and brooding, Haley reminds him why they are here, to take some pictures. Jeff explains to Haley that it's not so easy to pose in front of a camera. He says models have to be willing to open up. Whatever it means. He goes to take the camera while Haley runs to the living room. Jeff starts shooting Haley. Tells her how to pose, how to open up. Suddenly, Jeff doesn't feel so good. He collapses on the floor. Hours later, Jeff comes around and finds himself tied up to the chair. He can't move a muscle. He sees Haley, who reminds him of the dangers of drinking that you haven't mixed yourself. She apologizes to him for drugging him too much. She's never done it before, she says. Jeff wonders why does he get tied up first if this is how they're going to play. Haley very seriously says that playtime is over and it's time to wake up. Realizing that this is not a joke, he starts yelling for help. Haley sprays some liquid in his mouth and he stops screaming. Haley explains to Jeff that there's no point in shouting his lungs out because she made sure to choose the day when his neighbors are not around. He asks her if she'd been stalking him. She sets him straight that it's quite the opposite, he's been stalking her. She revealed to him that Thong Girl 14 wasn't her only account. She'd been using multiple accounts of different girls. And as soon as he'd found out that they were older than 14, he stopped talking to them. He tells her that they all were boring and that he and Haley really had a real connection. To which, she says that every time she'd mention an unknown singer or band, he would know everything about them. But not right away. A few minutes later, probably to give him enough time to Google them up. Jeff grew silent. Busted. He says he just wanted to impress a girl. Does that deserve being tied up and tortured, he asks. To which, Haley says that they haven't started anything yet, and tells him to be patient. She starts telling him off. She reminds him that he's the grown-up between them, that he's supposed to ignore all flirtatious advances of teenage girls, instead of drinking screwdrivers with them. She rolls him to the other room and starts looking in his drawers to find something on Jeff. He swears to be a decent guy, but Haley won't believe him. She finds a pile of letters and starts reading them. Turns out, those letters are from this girl Janelle, whose picture's hanging in his bedroom. He's kept those letters all those years. Jeff still has feelings for her. Then she checks his computer and finds out that he's downloaded some pictures off the internet, but they are nowhere to be found. A smart guy wouldn't keep incriminating photos on his computer, she thought. So she starts looking for his hiding place everywhere. Jeff is nervous that she might find something. She looks under his bed and finds a gun, but that's not what she's looking for. Then after searching everywhere, she sees a decorative rocks bed that stands in plain sight in the middle of the room. She puts aside the rocks and finds a coded safe. She asks Jeff the code, but to no avail. Guessing what her reasons could be, he offers her his psychological help, moral support, assuming she might have an abusive father who she hates, and that's her way to deal with her problems at home. Haley changes in her voice, and it seems like she really has problems at home. She starts crying, and suddenly laughing at Jeff for thinking this trick could work on her. She begins guessing the code now. Knowing how much sentimental Jeff is, she thinks that the code has to do with this girl named Janelle. Haley recalls that the date, March 19th, written on the back of the Janelle photograph hanging in Jeff's bedroom. It was no coincidence that Jeff was called Lensman 319 on the internet. This date means a lot to Jeff. After a couple of attempts, Haley guesses what year they could have been, and the safe opens. In the safe, she finds pictures of naked girls and one girl, Donna Maurer, the missing girl. She walks up to Jeff to show him the picture, and when she looks at the picture again, Jeff kicks her to the ground. He rolls to the bedroom to get his gun, and when he rolls out of the room he sees that Haley disappeared. He rolls around in the chair looking for Haley with the gun in his head as Haley sneaks up on Jeff from behind with plastic food wrap. She wraps his face around to suffocate him, but when he loses consciousness she stops and hikes up the wrap, saving his life. When Jeff comes around, he's lying on his back on the table, hands and legs are tied to the table with a bag of ice of his genitals. Haley asks him why does he have a picture of the missing girl. He says that he did meet Donna for coffee but didn't do anything to her. Haley doesn't believe him. He begs her to call the cops and he will turn himself in. But Haley doesn't like it. She has another plan for him. Now she wants to cut his balls off. She checks out the bag of ice to see if his crotch is numb enough. While waiting, she composes a letter to Janelle about her experience with Jeff. When Jeff becomes numb enough, she starts shaving him down there. He tries to threaten, bribe and sweet-talks her, but it seems like there's no way he could talk her out of it. But before getting into action, Haley went outside. She had some business to attend to on the roof. She gets seen by Jeff's curious neighbor. Haley comes back. She sets up the camera so that Jeff could watch his castration live stream on TV. Crying, Jeff tells a story that happened to him when he was a kid. When he was 9 years old, he was sent to his Aunt Denise and her kids one summer. Her kids were 4 and 5 years old. The youngest daughter, named Linny, would often jump out of the bathroom and start tickling Jeff. One day, her mother came and saw her naked daughter on top of Jeff. She drags the boy to the kitchen and turns the stove burner on. She pulls Jeff's pants down and lifts him up over the burner. She threatens to kill him if she ever catches him with her daughter again. Jeff begs Haley not to cut him and he would do anything she wants. Haley, again, apologizes for letting him think that there was a way out of this. Finally, she starts the procedure. She's never done it before but she says it's a very easy operation. She makes the first cut and asks Jeff if he could feel anything. She asks him not to wiggle so that she wouldn't cut any vital arteries. Lying hopelessly on the table, he can't believe this nightmare is happening to him. He doesn't feel anything, but those squishy sounds coming from the other end of the table don't make it easier for him. He sweats profusely. Haley asks him which ball he would like to be cut first. Getting no answer back, she cuts off the right ball off first. And a couple of minutes later the second one. In the end, she's impressed by the simplicity of the operation. She wishes they'd taught Girl Scouts things like that, instead of camping or selling cookies. She deserves a Girl Scouts merit badge for this achievement, she says. Jeff begs her to kill him, but she tells him that she won't grant him mercy killing and he doesn't get off that easy. Then Haley walks out of the room to take a shower. Being all sweaty and slippery, Jeff breaks loose out of hand ropes, sits up, and looks down there. He sees that his balls are all intact and unharmed. He unties his legs and goes to the living room. He sees the phone, grabs it, and dials 911, but at the last moment changes his mind. He takes the bloody scalpel off the table. Scalpel in hand, he rushes to the bathroom but gets tased by Haley from behind. While Jeff was out, Haley gets rid of all signs of her being there, including fingerprints and her things. She cleans the room and writes the suicide note. She calls Janelle, introduces herself as a police officer. She asks her to come to Jeff's place due to some incident. Then she drags Jeff out of the room. Using ropes, she hoists him up to the ceiling and pulls up a chair. When he finally comes to his senses, he calls her insane. Which she doesn't deny. 4 out of 5 doctors agree, she says. Suddenly, the doorbell goes off. Jeff tries to call for help but Haley shuts him up with the duct tape. Haley opens the door and sees the curious neighbor. She brought Jeff the cookies he asked for. Haley introduced herself as Jeff's niece and takes the cookies. She asks her about the noises coming from the house. Haley says it's Jeff vomiting, probably because of the food poisoning. She asks her what was she doing on the roof earlier. Not knowing what to answer, Haley says that she's got to go and says goodbye to the curious neighbor. After Haley comes back, she tells him how it's going to play out. She gives him a choice: she can push the chair under and leave him hanging among those pictures of naked girls and the typed-out confession on his computer. Or he steps off that chair and she promises to destroy all the evidence so that people wouldn't find out about him. He says that police will find her cause she messed up a couple of times. To which she says that nobody cares about pedophiles. Police would be happy that one more pedophile is off the streets. Having come too close to him, Jeff jumps on Haley and tries to suffocate her using his legs. She breaks loose and runs away. Jeff unties himself, takes a knife, and starts looking for Haley. He finds her on the roof. Haley wonders what took him so long. She had to drop her wristband so that he could find her. Jeff is so angry. What does she prefer first, him or his knife, he asks. Haley points the gun at him and tells him that it's not her he should be worried about, but Janelle. Says she's coming here. She shows him the noose tied to the chimney and tells him that the deal is still open. Or they can wait for Janelle and she will tell her about everything. Before they know it, Janelle is here looking for Jeff. They duck down. Crying, Jeff confesses to watching Donna Maurer, the missing girl, being raped and killed by another guy. He says he only watched. He says he will tell her the name of this guy. Haley says that she already knows the name of this guy, and the interesting thing is, that he said the same thing before killing himself. He said Jeff raped and killed Donna Maurer. Accepting his fate, Jeff gets up, lets Haley put the noose on him, and goes to the edge of the roof. Once again, Haley promises to take care of the mess, and that nobody will find out about him. Jeff gets the courage up and takes his last step off the roof. As soon as Jeff does it, Haley dashes to the side of the roof. It seems like she wants to save him. But the only thing she does is make sure that he dies, knowing that she won't do a thing and that everybody will find out who he really was. She slides down the hill and goes away. Thanks for watching the video. Please, leave a like and subscribe if you like it. Write in the comments what movie I should make the video on next. See you next time. Take care.